or to assist in helping us make the proper choices, the Bible has talked about the nature and the consequences of sin. I just want to mention these briefly as we close. You know, sin is deceptive. Hebrews 3 and verse 13, it deceives people. We've seen that. Sin is also progressive. It just doesn't start at one sin, does it? It keeps on. One sin turns into another and then another. Sin is also enslaving. One becomes addicted to sin. You can get to the point where it may be almost impossible to turn back. Sin is also very wasteful. It's wasting your talents. It's wasting your ability. It's wasting who you can be in God's sight. And sin is also divisive. Sin will divide people. It will divide those that want to serve God and obey God and those who choose to disobey. Let me close with this little story, and I think it kind of wraps it up in regard to what it means to be a mature child of God. I think about a man who was strolling down a boardwalk one day, and he saw this beautiful little girl that was heading his way, and she had one of those tubes of paper, cardboard tubes, and it was topped with a pink pile of cotton candy. You've seen those, right? A huge pile of cotton candy on one of those cardboard tubes. And this man kind of laughed and good-naturedly said, when he saw this little girl, he said, how can a little girl like you eat all that cotton candy? And without hesitation, that little girl said, well, you see, mister, I'm a lot bigger on the inside than I am on the outside. I think there's a lot of truth in that for us as Christians, right? It's not who we are on the outside that matters. Maturity is who we are on the inside. What really matters to God is the hidden man of the heart, 1 Peter 3 and verse 4. And so accordingly, when we embrace these attitudes of Romans chapter 12, we will truly be mature children of God. Now, I've got 10 after, and I'm going to stop here at that particular point. Next week, Lord willing, we're going to talk about attitudes of a spiritual child of God. We talked about the attitudes of a happy child of God. We talked about the attitudes of a mature child of God. What does it mean to be spiritual? The attitudes of a spiritual child of God. We'll talk about that, Lord willing, next week. Thank you so much for your attention. I appreciate you for being here.